Hello there, and welcome to Play the Game with Steve. Villains Beyond. Episode 2, Klaw. We're going to take a quick look at the different stage numbers and his stats. We're going to then go and explore the different ways that he is going to come at our heroes with his encounter deck that is specific to him. And then finally, we're going to take a look at some of the modular sets that we can include to spice up the thematics, the difficulty, or just the overall enjoyment of this scenario. All this and more on this episode of Villains Beyond, Klaw. Klaw is a Masters of Evil on all three stages. He has respectively 12 hit points per player on stage 1, 18 or 22 per player on stage 2 and 3. When he attacks, there is a force interrupt on all three stages, and this is his big shtick, is when he attacks, you give him an additional boost card for this activation. Well, this does two things. One, it is going to be a very big guess on how much damage that attack can do. It can go from 0 damage to maybe 8 damage, depending on the stage number that you are. So now with some of the encounter modulars, it can even have a 4 boost icon, so it can go all the way up to 9. And not only that, but the second thing is he is going to go through that encounter deck really fast, especially if you're playing on 2 or 3 or even 4 players, because every time he attacks a player, that's 2 cards out of the deck. So that starts to add up really fast. So that is his main shtick. On stage 1, he'll scheme for 2 if you go to Alter Ego, and he will attack you for 0, which is pretty okay. On stage 2, though, he'll scheme for 2 again, but attack you with a base of 1. And also, when you reveal him, you will reveal the Immortal Klaw, and then you will put that side scheme into play. All right, and that will give him a bonus, and you'll see what that is a little bit later. And then on stage 3, he'll scheme for 3 and attack for 2, and just get a tough status card. Now let's take a look at his main scheme. So his main scheme has 2 stages, and the first stage is Underground Distribution, and as a setup ability. And the setup ability will be, as you're setting up the game, this is what you will be doing. So as you set up the game, you'll search the encounter deck and for the defense network side scheme, and then you will reveal it. And then you will shuffle the encounter deck. Okay, done. Once you're done shuffling the encounter deck, you will do this next one. When revealed, because this one will be revealed, again, the Underground Distribution will be discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play, engaged with the first player. Now, it is put into play, so if ever there's a minion that has a when revealed ability, that ability will not trigger. One of the minions in this deck has Surge. That Surge will not happen because the when revealed is only when the card is dealt to you as an encounter card, and then you reveal it. So that's very important to know, because I know a lot of people, I've seen this in the blogs, like, is this normal that I got Weapons Runner and then it surged into 3 different cards and I already lost the game and I haven't even started? Yes, that's why it's important for us to remind you of this. Okay, it can go up for 6 per player. So 6 per player is not that big when you're playing solo, but when you're playing 2, 3, 4 players, it gives you a lot of room. Now, if ever this pops, it will go to the next stage. And the next stage is called Secret Rendezvous. When revealed, you'll discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded, and we'll put that minion into play, engaged with the first player. Advance to stage 2B, and then if it goes up to 8 per player, it starts at 0, and it says if this stage is completed, the player will lose the game. So if it goes up past 8, you're done. So that you got to be very careful for. So again, so we can kind of see how his mechanic works in this, is you are discarding cards until you find a minion. You don't shuffle those cards back in after. So you can feel the pressure of the encounter deck going through it really, really fast. Now, you might be lucky and it might be the first card you reveal, but you might go through 2/3 of the deck and then you're like, oh shoot, I'm going to get an acceleration like really fast. So you can really feel the pressure on the encounter deck and those acceleration tokens that accelerate Klaw's win condition. Now, also, this might not be just a bad thing. This also gives you a lot of information. So if you take a look at the encounter deck discard pile, you can take away some of the information by the cards that are discarded. That being said, is like, okay, so, oh, look, I saw Shadows of the Past go by. So I know that I'm not going to get my Shadows of the Past. Oh, look, I've seen two advances go by. I saw 3 assaults. I saw his sonic booms go out. So this is all information that you can take away from that encounter deck, and that is going to make you a better player once you start noticing these little things as cards get discarded and you get more familiar with the villain. You're going to be like, oh, okay, now I know it's safe to go to Alter Ego, or, ooh, I haven't seen any advances go by. Maybe I shouldn't go down to Alter Ego just yet. So that information is key to victory for our heroes. Now, Klaw's going to come at us with a few side schemes. So the first one, it's going to come into play regardless on what stage you're playing, standard or expert, is the defense network. It starts at 2, and then it's a, when revealed, add 1 per player, so it can go all the way up to 6 in a 4-player game. And it has the crisis icon, and that crisis icon is pretty troublesome. So this is something you want to get rid of, or else you won't be able to remove any threat from the main scheme. Now, if you're playing on Expert, you will also get the Immortal Klaw. So he will start off with 2, not 1, but 2 side schemes into play. This one gives him an extra 10 hit points, and that will go away if you remove the side scheme. And then what it does is it gives you also an acceleration token, and it starts at 3 per player. So 3, 6, 9, or 12 threat will be on that depending on the player count. So that is a good idea of getting rid of this, but I would also prioritize the defense network, especially if you are playing on Expert and there's one called Master Plan that adds threat to side schemes. This is one that you want to get rid of first, and then the acceleration you can always deal with a little bit later. But priority should always be the crisis icons. He's got one more of these. It's called the Illegals Arm Factory, and then that's 1 revealed. You'll place an additional 1 per player here, so it's going to be 3 all the way up to 7 threat, which is not so bad in a 4-player game, but it will give you a hazard icon. And what that means is if this side scheme is still in play during the 4th step of the villain phase, you will be receiving an additional encounter card. So that's one bad card is already bad enough. Getting double, it's pretty monstrous. But one thing though to remember is if you're playing in a multiplayer game, it's only the first player who will get the extra card. So it's not too bad in a 4-player game, but in solo, you're doubling up the number of bad cards that are coming your way. Now he also has a few attachments. The first one is Solid Sound Body that is going to be attached to Klaw when it comes out, and it's going to give him Retaliate. That's not that bad, but it's too annoying if you have a lot of allies that want to deal damage. That Retaliate is going to, start getting annoying real fast, and you need 1 of each to get rid of it. But the more dangerous attachment is his Sonic Converter, and this one is after Klaw attacks and damages a character, stun that character. So that is going to, really limit the number of things that you can do. And not only that, it also gives him a +1 attack. So you really, really want to, I highly recommend that you can get rid of this as soon as possible to increase your odds of survival. All right, then he's got a few minions that are going to come in and block our way. So a few of those are the Weapons Runner. He's got 2 of those. Now these guys have Surge, so after this card is revealed, you get another encounter card. Not only is that bad enough that they Surge when they get revealed, but if they come in as a boost icon, and we know that he reveals 2 cards when he attacks, you put it into play engaged with you, and that what means is after this guy would come into play, after the villain's attack, this guy will come in and attack you. So that can be really annoying, but I prefer to get him as a boost rather than a Surge card with another one. Now, the other big obstacle, the other minion, are the Armored Guards. And there's 3 copies of these Armored Guards. These have 3 health and a toughness and guard, which means you can't attack the boss. So these guys, you really want to get rid of them as soon as possible, because or else you just can't attack the boss. So that is problematic. Also, the fact that they're tough means most of the time you'll be wasting an attack unless you have an ally that can attack for 1 or a way to deal 1 damage. So this is something that, you know, is often problematic for certain heroes. All right, then he's got a few nasty treacheries. Now, the easiest one is sound manipulation. So this one is in alter ego form. If you're an alter ego, he's just going to heal for 4. But if he doesn't heal anything, so again, kind of like hard to keep down from Rhino, as long as you've dealt him 1 damage, you're good. It's only he's going to heal for 1, and that's it. But if you are in hero form, you're going to take 2 damage, and then he's going to heal for 2. So again, it's the 4, but it's 2 and 2. So that's not too bad, you know, taking just 2 damage. But I've lost to that card so many times because I was at 2 health, and I was like, no. All right, then we have Klaw's Vengeance. Now, when revealed in Alter Ego, you're going to discard a random card, so that's kind of annoying, but at least he's not scheming. So you're losing a card for being an Alter Ego, but when you're in Alter Ego, you also have that extra card from your hand size. But what's annoying is when in hero form, he is going to attack you, and if that attack deals damage, place 1 threat on the main scheme. And this is very important. It doesn't matter if it deals damage to your identity or to an ally. As long as this attack deals damage, you're going to place 1 threat on the main scheme. So he's going to also advance his plan. So that could be dangerous here. So just a friendly reminder, because I know sometimes I was forgetting, oh, I'll just block with an ally. And I'm like, oh no, shoot. If he deals damage, so the threat will advance. All right, so that can lead to some problems. And probably the worst one is Sonic Boom. So this card also has a boost effect, which says if this activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero. So if you're blocking with an ally, it doesn't matter. But if he's scheming, it doesn't matter. But if he's attacking and deals even 1 point of damage, you're exhausting. Oh, and then you're like, darn it. And then finally, when its card is revealed, and this is very tricky, it's either you spend 1 of each resource, so lightning, mental, and physical, or you exhaust each character you control. Now, if one of your characters is exhausted, you cannot fulfill exhausting each character you control. So you will have to choose to spend the resources instead. I used to play this wrong, but yeah, so it's not, if you can't fulfill the second part, you have to fulfill the first part, and that can really, really mess up your turn. So sometimes it's like, oh, should I block? Should I not block? So that's all part of his mechanic here, that, you know, you have to make some important decisions even during the villain phase. So I really like that about Klaw, and that it brings that kind of opportunity. It's a big step up from what Rhino was offering as a challenge. Now, let's go talk about theme and some of the modular sets that we can add to change it up. So all 3 for theme, I went with modular sets that are available in the Hood Scenario Pack. So because that came with like 9 extra ones. And so there's a lot of really fun ones that work well with Klaw. The first one being the Ransacked Armory. And the reason why I like it is it adds 2 extra armored guards. So do I like it because it's more challenging? I actually like it because it makes Klaw that much more difficult in a solo game to punch directly in his face. So he's really, really annoying. And also all the minions have a possibility of get these really nasty attachments, like the tech gauntlets that give them overkill and +1 attack. You have the flamethrower that deals indirect damage and +3 attack. You got the hollow shield generator that gives +4 health and retaliate 2. And then the worst of all is the jetpack that says that reduces the damage as you discard a boost card. So all this together makes a really interesting challenge. Difficulty wise, I would say in solo, it cranks it up a notch, because it's going to be hard to get through all those minions with all those attachments. So I would say it's definitely a 7.5 or an 8 difficulty on theme there. All right, the next one. Again, from the Hood Scenario Pack, and this is the Brothers Grimm modular. And this one is a Masters of Evil, so again, we're dealing with the Masters of Evil. So that's always fun to add him. Another way you can add that one too is if you would add the Masters of Mayhem, which is the recommended modular set, which is a whole bunch of Masters of Evil, and then you can add this guy as well. Even though you're technically only supposed to add one modular, you could always add this one for extra flavor if you want. And then the reason why this one's particularly, it's an 8 health minion with a 1/1. But the reason I like it is because he accelerates the encounter deck a lot. So if you leave him in play even one turn, he's going to discard cards when he activates until he finds an attachment, and then you're going to reveal that attachment. So you're either going to attach something to him, and we do remember that Klaw also has 2 attachments in his deck, so that could be really brutal, especially you might just get an acceleration from that. So all the acceleration, all the attachments, there's 4 of them. They don't give any boost, but they do have this negative effect. And they kind of have like a semi-surge on it, is you're going to do the nasty effect the next time that villain activates. And after that, you're going to get another encounter card. Now, one thing's good is if you defeat the minion before he activates, well, nothing is going to happen. You're just going to discard this. So I like it. And for difficulty, it's not super hard, especially if you get rid of it. Now, what's annoying is these attachments also go on the villain. So it's pretty brutal. So one makes you discard an ally. The other one, you discard a random card from your hand. The other one you take 3 indirect damage. And the other one, you stun your identity. So those are pretty brutal when they get attached to the villain. And then the final one, again, from the Hood Scenario Pack, is the Crossfire's Crew. And this is really fun because it really punishes ally strategies. So if you're playing with a lot of allies, this modular set is really gonna punch you in the throat. All right, so Crossfire here, he's the Master of Evil, and he's got his own crew. He's got Quick Strike, and he always attacks the friendly character with the fewest remaining hit points, and then those attacks have ranged and overkill. Then you got Corruptor, and when he's revealed, he's going to exhaust each ally you control and then place threat on the main scheme. And he also has a boost icon that says choose and exhaust a character you control. You have the Controller, and when you attack, you would deal any amount of damage. You increase that amount by that character's attack. So let's say if you're playing with Hulk, well, Controller now attacks for 4. So that could be really, really annoying. Then we got Mr. Fear. So, and this one's probably the worst one of all. And he says, as an initial cost for the engaged player to ready a hero or ally, you need to spend a mental resource. So if you have no mentals in your hand, you are completely hosed because you are not you're not readying any character while he's in play. And he has also a boost card that says discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard an ally. So he's going to make you go through your deck faster. Then we got Caught in the Crossfire. If there's 2 things, if you're when you are revealed, you're going to discard cards from the top of the encounter deck, again accelerating the encounter deck until a Crossfire Crew minion is discarded. You have to reveal that minion, and then you take indirect damage equal to the number of Crossfire Crew minions in play. And the most annoying side scheme that can really just ransack a table in a 4-player game is called Out for Blood, and that is when revealed, you deal the damage to the friendly character with the fewest remaining hit points, and if that character is defeated this way, repeat this effect. It's only 2 per player, but the boost, it does exactly the same thing. So if that's coming out, you're in trouble, mister. And then it's also an extra encounter card. So it could be really, really brutal. So as for difficulty, I would say another difficulty 8.5 on the difficulty scale with Klaw, especially if you're playing in leadership. It's going to hose you down. All right, let's take a look at now to increase difficulty. So in the 3rd position for difficulty-wise, we have the Armies of Titan from the Mad Titan Shadow Box. So we have 2 extra side schemes for Klaw, and both have acceleration icons. Only 2 per player, which is not that bad. But when you defeat it, you have to discard cards until you find a minion. So again, can lead into more accelerations, can lead into another acceleration. So again, you have a decision. Do I just ignore this, or find a minion to try to remove that as fast as possible? So I really like that. Then there's the Black Order infantry that comes in, that they have guard, and then when you defeat him, you also give the villain a tough status card when defeated. So that can be frustrating, because it's kind of like a reversed armored guard. So they don't have guard, but then they don't have a tough status card, but they give the boss a tough. And if they get used up as a boost card, they still give the boss a tough status card. So pretty challenging here. And then the Outriders, which are the pain. So when they reveal, you discard a card at random from your hand, and when they are also a boost card, you discard a card at random. So if you're going through the deck and you're seeing these guys a lot, oh man, it seems like you're always discarding cards and stuff like that. So difficulty wise, I would say it's probably a 6.5, 7, just for the annoying part that you're discarding cards at random, and there's all these nasty effects that can happen, and those boost icons to give the villain a tough is really going to slow you down. So, but aside from that, it's not too bad. The second one is from the Guardians box, and it is the Menagerie Medley. So again, we have some more stall tactics with the Servant Bots. Then there's 3 copies of these. These guys got guard and patrol, so we can't thwart the main scheme, and we can't attack the boss. So just a little bit more annoying than the armored guards, but at least they don't come in with tough. And then there's, oh my god, the 4 Psionic Ghosts. And then these are worse, because between these guys and the Weapons Runner, there's a lot of minions that are just entering play on boost activations. So even if you're playing on standard, you're going to get a run for your money. And then there's also 2 Star Sharks that are going to come in and deal 1 damage to each character you control. So that is pretty frustrating. Oh, and I forgot. If the Psionic Ghosts are revealed, they will confuse you, and if you are already confused, you will take a damage. But if they come in as a boost, they don't confuse you. It's only when they are revealed. So difficulty level, this is a high 8, because of all these extra minions, all these extra star icons that have these effects. So the villain might not attack you as hard, because but he's going to be putting a lot of minions into play and stuff like that. So for me, this was it was a pretty nasty challenge there. And then finally, from the Kang scenario pack, it is the Anachronauts, and these guys are brutal. So we got Death Hunt, who is a toughness with villainous. He's got and then what happens is you give the enemy a tough and another boost card. So Klaw might have like 3 boost cards now, and then he gets an effect. Then you also have Sebastian, who's got guard and retaliate, and take a damage, give the villain another boost card. Terminatrix, she's got piercing and quick strike, and then give the enemy 2 extra boost cards. So now it just doesn't stop. Then you got Apocryphus. When he gets revealed, you discard an ally or support, but if he's a boost, you exhaust a character you control and give the enemy another one. And then you have Wild Run, that discards a random card from your hand as a boost and gives the villain another boost card. And then when revealed, you discard a random card from your hand. So you know how I love those. So this is very, very challenging. Then you got 2 of Kang's Chosen, that Insights, that adds threat to the main scheme, and then also accelerates the encounter deck by discarding until you find a temporal minion, and there's only those 5. So it can be pretty challenging. And then finally, the double side scheme called the Anachronauts, and when defeated, you shuffle each temporal card into the encounter deck. So obviously the only temporal cards are is it the 5 or 6 of them? I forget how many they are. 2, 4, 5. Yeah, so the 5 of them, you shuffle them back in, and then and then they all happens again. So it can just lead to some really, really nasty turns. This is definitely a 9 to a 9.5, even maybe 10 on the difficulty range. Klaw with the Anachronauts, very, very challenging here. All right, now let's go just for the simple pleasures of And I only have 2 of these because the third spot is just the Masters of Evil. It is my favorite scenario to play, the Masters of Mayhem with Klaw. I just enjoy it. I think it's just really, really geared and thematic as well. So the first one I really enjoy, just for fun of it, is the Hydra Assault. Again, there's some extra boost cards here, so if I decide not to defend, I might lose my supports with these Hydra Flame Soldiers. And then there's the Hydra Jet Troopers, again with those little boost icons. And this is always pretty fun because if you're playing on stage 1, and if it comes out as a boost, the villain will attack you again. But you don't give him any boost cards, so even you don't give him an additional boost card, you don't give him anything. So it's kind of like a cheesy one. It's pretty easy. And then there's that Hail Hydra, which is just find a Hydra minion and put it into play. So not that bad. So difficulty-wise, it's probably a 5, maybe a 4 to 5. Not that hard. All right, so my top spot for lulz, but it's also pretty challenging. So it was hard to decide. So I really like the Space Pirates from the Guardians Most Wanted modular box, with cards like Honor Among Thieves, which you, when revealed, you discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a criminal minion is discarded. You reveal that minion, then give the minion a tough, and then the villain an additional face down boost card, which means Klaw is going to have 3 boost cards when he attacks you. The only criminals that they have, they're all quick strikes. And those pirates, after these minions attack and damage you, you remove the top card of your deck from the game. When they come out as boosts, you give the villain an additional boost card, so it could just go crazy. There's 4 lackeys. Yeah, there's 4 lackeys. Sorry. So yeah, there's 4 lackeys, and then there's 1 commander who is also a criminal. That says when you come out at a boost, you give the villain an additional boost card, but when he comes out, after the minion attacks and deals damage to you, remove 1 card at random in your hand from the game. So that is really brutal. So you don't want to see that pirate commander, especially when he comes out. It's not too bad if he comes out as the first minion. It's not that bad because then you can just take him out real fast. And then also the Sound the Alarm, that is a side scheme with a nasty boost icon that says all the enemies get +1 attack. So this difficulty-wise is probably an 8.5 as well, but it's pretty fun to play against, and it's just like Klaw keeps stealing all of my stuff. Like, you keep losing cards from the top of your deck, you keep losing cards from your hand, you're just like, oh my god, what's going on? And you feel the robbery. All right, so somebody made, there's been a lot of suggestions on, what can I bring, what hero. I really don't want to talk about heroes, but I'm going to talk about the 3 best cards that you can bring when you're facing Klaw. And I'm going to make this quick because I know I'm almost at my 30-minute mark. So I think I'm just going to go from top to bottom. The best card you can bring, and it can be included in any deck, is the Target Acquired. This is a basic card from the Black Widow pack. Canceling these boost icons, especially with all of the modulars that I've suggested here. This card is going to be your number 1 go-to card. It's going to be a lifesaver in so many situations here. So this is the best card to add to the deck. Even in a 3-4 player game, you should all have at least 1 or 2 copies in your deck. All right, and then the second best card would be Wraith, but only if you're playing Justice. This comes from the Nebula pack, and this is a hero interrupt. When a boost card is turned face up, you can deal a damage to Wraith and cancel that effect. So kind of like Target Acquired on an ally. The only good thing is you can always heal that ally, but it gives you at least 3 cancels, especially if he's going to go through a lot of boost cards in a turn. Might be a good idea if you're playing Justice to include Wraith ally in your deck. And then finally, third position, it is the Defiance. The reason why it's in dead last is because you don't have any control over Defiance, kind of like the other 2. The other 2, you can choose when you're going to cancel that. With Defiance, you're kind of just like flipping a coin, but it's still a cancel boost icon. So with Klaw, it's never wasted. So there you go. So Defiance here from the Vision Hero Pack. So So guys, I know this video was a little bit longer, so if you think that was a little too long, please let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any other suggestions, things that I might have missed, if you like that little add-on at the end there with the best cards to add to a deck, let me know and I'll keep doing that for the future videos. So finally, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Please put that little thumbs up if you enjoyed this. And don't forget to leave some comments at the end of the video. I always love reading you in the next following days and just have your general feedback of what I am doing. All right, guys. Till next time, I hope you enjoyed this video of Villains Beyond Episode 2, Klaw. I'll catch you next time for Ultron. Remember to enjoy yourselves and just play the game. See you next time.